Question everything, trust nothing, except for your boy, CryptoKeeper. Hopefully everybody is doing well today. Get that out of there. There we go. I'm excited about the show today. There's been a lot happening in not just the crypto space, but the stock market, which is actually where I started. So excited to talk about that. And we've got a fundamental analyst backstage we're going to be bringing up here in just a second in Army Piper. Glad to have him on. It's Tuesday. Been bringing Army on Tuesdays, so I appreciate him for being here. Let me jump into the chat real quick, see who was first today. Looks like Memories with Mike. Good afternoon, Mike. Glad that you're here. Jay is in the house. Who else we got? My boy Enrique Suave, the funniest guy on YouTube right there. If you're not following Enrique, make sure that you do. Katie Cake's in the house. We got the whole crew in here. We got a bunch of people that I just love. I appreciate all of you for being here. All right, let's bring Army up. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Another person that's near and dear to my heart, Army Piper. What's up, brother? The mute button helps. Like if you just.
Oh, hey, I got a voice now. Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? No, I muted myself because I was telling my son, I said I need a drink. And so he ran to get me a drink. And
so he's got the Jack Daniels out, just pouring it into your coffee. Nobody will know any better.
It's a red Solo cup. It'll be here in a minute. I'll be good.
Okay. Red Solo cup. Well, I've got my, I haven't seen caffeinated crypto in the house yet, but I got my gallon size, coffee here, and I just downed some. You ever heard of this stuff called Believe? You ever heard of this?
No, what is that?
My sister, there's a whole lot to it, but my sister turned me on to this stuff. It's called Believe, and the cool thing about it that I like, so it's a thermogenic. It also does the nootropics or whatever for your brain, but it's like you don't get the crash off of it, but you get a pretty intense get rocking with it. The only thing that I don't like is it's inconsistent with I'm a sweaty guy, right? Like I get sweaty. And so the thing that I don't like is that it's randomly, I can take it and be great and it's good and and then randomly I'll take a little bit of it and I'm sweating my balls off, right? That would be my only complaint, but it's good stuff, dude. And it has a whole bunch of other actual good properties. I'll have to send you a little gift. See if you like it or not. Do you do much caffeine?
I'll check it out. Oh yeah, I'm a caffeine guy.
Caffeine guy. Yeah.
Come on, man. 22 years in the army.
The army.
Years in the army. I lived on nicotine and caffeine.
Nicotine and caffeine. Yeah, dude. And we used to. I don't know if you guys did this, but in the Marine Corps, when we were out in the field, we would take packets of coffee and dip them like snuff.
Yeah.
You guys used to do that?
Yeah.
God. I look back at some of the dumb shit.
Best memory I have of all of my army camping trips. Making Ranger pudding. Did you ever make Ranger pudding with the MREs?
We might not have called it that. We've done some interesting things with MREs. Let me hear this.
So you take the hot cocoa mix.
Okay.
And you take the instant coffee pack.
Okay.
And you mix them together with a little bit of water and you mix it up and it's caffeinated chocolate pudding really at that point. So
I like it.
Ranger
what
pudding.
Was your favorite MRE? Because I know which one mine was.
My favorite MRE, honestly, was probably to rat F, the F word there. We would rat screw a bunch of packs together actually and take what nitpick out of each of them, but take the two pieces of the flatbread,
okay,
and then get the burger patty, the beef patty meal,
all right,
put that on the two pieces of bread, get the onions from the fajita set and put that on top, and then jalapeno cheese and make a cheeseburger out in the field.
Dude, that's a lot of work. I appreciate it.
Dude, I've got menu items in the field. Let me tell you.
Army's got the gourmet MRE setup. So no, I'll tell you, mine very simply was the it's the mac and it's the what you call it, mac, the chili mac.
Chili mac. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I like the chili
Throw
mac.
some hot sauce in there and take the crackers and crumble it up and you can.
You ever eaten too many? MREs and experienced
every time? Every time.
For those of you who don't know, the one complication with MREs is the after effects of said MREs. There's so much crammed into them that they're kind of hard to get out, right? It makes you
They sure are. Sure are.
They're definitely
sometimes they're difficult to stomach, and sometimes they're difficult to get out of the stomach. So there you go.
I've got some MREs down in my basement as part of my little, prep set that I have down there. So, Clay the Great in the house says, "Damn, Jimmy, this is some gourmet shit." Yes. Jenna X in the house.
That is
out walking dogs today. She was out walking dogs apparently yesterday. Tried to get her on the stream, and she said, "No, you know what? I am busy doing good things for dogs at a shelter." So
that's my wingman.
To Jenna. That's what I hear. She did a great job with Trading Wars. I want to shout out to everybody. If you were in Trading Wars this season, and I know Jenna's on here, so I'll be sending out an email. But for the finals on Monday, I'd like to get everybody in there. I think the returning, the two-time champion Crypto Face might be showing up to hassle some people. That is coming up on Monday. But Thursday, a reminder, somebody from your team, Army, is going to be here. Tradefly is going head-to-head with Drew from Preset.
Drew Wolfer.
Yep, Drew Wolfer. Yeah. So,
and then if he survives that and OC survives Bullish Trader, you will have 2 of the Piper Academy.
Well, no. So Tradefly. So the final is OC and Bullish, and then one more. So it could be So it could be 2 of the 3 because there'll be 3 in the final.
Yeah. Piper Academy has came and represented this year.
There's a reason we have you on the stream. You're doing big things. Let me pull up the charts. Let's start there. See what's going on in crypto land, in the cryptoverse. I'm gonna pull up my entire screen over here. If you're not, first of all, if you're not following me over on X, listen, what are you doing with your life? I like to post some funny stuff over there as well once in a while. I did a little TikTok yesterday that I put on X. That was a fun one. Got 5,051 followers. We need to grow, so make sure that you follow me over there. Let's get into, no, not the crypto bubbles. Let's check out CoinGecko. The global crypto market cap is at, drum roll, please, a little bit too zoomed in there, 2.36 trillion with AT dollars. That is down 2.8%. What were you going to say?
I got your sound effects. Man.
Appreciate that. Bitcoin's at 61,399. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to do a little analysis here in a minute and see if Army and I have some confluence on what we're looking at. ETH down 5.9% on the week, down, just about nothing on the hourly and a couple percent on the day. We're sub 2,900. Don't love seeing that. BNB, $566. Solana. Listen, everything's creeping away from their big numbers. So BNB, 600. That's the number, right? Solana, 150. That's been the number. XRP, XRP just stays at 50 cents. So I'm tired of XRP. Toncoin, though, is up 15% doing Toncoin things over the last week. Glad to see that at $6.74. And then let me scroll down and check out near and dear to my heart. I know, Army, you are big on at least one of these 2. Where is it? Drum roll. There it is. Caspa, 11.33 cents, doing absolutely nothing right now, but I know what it's going.
I called 11.2 cents yesterday.
Oh, yeah? Well, you are right on. So can you do me a favor and call like 22 cents next time you call that out?
Bro, I'd like to call 350.
There it is. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. If Caspa, with the amount of Caspa just that I hold right now, and I'm continuing to mine Caspa, if Caspa were to hit $3.50, I have a shitload of money. I will have a lot of, but there'll be a lot of people. The problem with it,
bullish. Good. I'm so bullish on my current portfolio. I'm looking at $1.2 million homes in the Central Texas area right now. So,
the hard thing that I think people don't take into account about investing is the profit taking side of it. And so I just want to touch on this real quick. I wanted to talk about this today anyway. One of the things that I think people take for granted, and we're going to talk about GameStop today. We're going to talk about AMC. We're going to talk about some of the meme stocks. We're going to talk about a couple meme coins. We're going to talk about what's happening with the Fed and, all of the things. But one of the things that I want to challenge people on is their ability and game planning on profit taking. Because the reality is, let's say Caspa does go to $3.50. And people in their mind say, oh, I hold 100,000 Caspa. Whatever, it doesn't matter. At $3.50, that's 350 grand or whatever. Okay. That assumption being made says that you were able to withstand all of the action in between wherever you bought it at 11 cents, at 20 cents, at 50 cents, at $1. And you didn't take profit. There you go, 4.5 cents, less than a penny. Whatever the case may be, you weren't taking profit the whole way, and you think that you're going to just ride that up and just sell the top. I guess what I want to throw out there is that these markets move fast, right? So I want to challenge people to have game plans, to have, like I have at 25 cents, I'm going to sell some Caspa. At 50 cents, I'm going to sell some Caspa. At $1, I'm going to sell some, right? Because ultimately, I don't want to look back like I did last run. I was looking for ETH to hit 6K, right? We got to what, 4,900, and I hadn't been selling. And 4.9K was the top. And I saw a massive amount of Ethereum stay at a massive amount of Ethereum, but for the dollar value, it was like,
you remember that 100K Bitcoin?
Yeah, that one too. That was a big one. That 100K Bitcoin. Yeah. And people were talking 250K. Listen, if you have bullish thoughts on some of these things, I just want to challenge you. Take some profits along the way, because at the end of the day, you are not guaranteed. You can be on paper a freaking multimillionaire, and if you don't take some profits, you are going to not be a multimillionaire when the markets turn around. So just a reminder.
I got to say, my wife, she's really good at telling me, don't worry about it. It always bounces back, blah, blah, blah. Like my wife is very supportive of the crypto market. She's a believer. She's a true believer. But I will tell you that when things start to get really up there, she starts to go, maybe we should take a little bit of that out. How long have you been holding that? Is that past long-term capital gain versus short-term capital gain? All that. Like, she asks hard questions that makes my brain go, wife's talking, probably should take some profit here. So it's like,
I think it's one of the hardest things to do.
It's time to walk away.
Yeah. I think it's one of the hardest things to do. I think people think that, buying when things are tough is hard. For me, I have a harder time taking profits. I actually, just to give you a little background on kind of some things going on with me, construction stuff has slowed down recently. People don't have the disposable income that they have, right? And that's my main source of income. And so I've had to dip into my crypto a little bit recently, and I had to pull 10 grand worth of Bitcoin this morning, and it pained me because I do know, but why did I choose Bitcoin? I chose Bitcoin because of all of my holdings. I believe I have the smallest amount of upside with Bitcoin. So I had to, take some of that off the table. But dude, it pains me to do it, because I look at it as, okay, if Bitcoin's going to hit 100K, 120K, 150K, whatever the number is, and I'm selling some of it at 60, right? The 10K that I took is actually 20K or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Ugh, I hate it. So,
but I also use that as an excuse when I have family that go, hey, can we get a little loan from you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, my money, every dollar I make has a name.
Yeah.
And it's allocated out at the beginning of the month. I know, like, this is what I have left after bills, and this is what's going into investment. Yeah. And it's all an investment. So if I was to take that money and pull it out to give to you as a loan, in air quotes, I would pay 40-30% average tax on it. So no, you can't. Yeah. So I definitely use that. Even when I have dry powder sitting there making 5% interest, they're not going to watch this, because my family don't do crypto, no matter what I tell them. But even when I, sitting there making 5% interest on APY, I still, it's invested. I can't touch it. So I use that excuse all the time. So
yeah, and you know what? I don't have family asking me for loans, but I've had one of my sisters, just kind of make an offhanded comment about the amount of money that I have, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, let's be really freaking clear. It's paper money right now, because at the end of the day, right, until I actively buy an asset with it, or I actively take profits on it, it doesn't mean anything, right? Like, it means it does, but it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So just keep that in mind, everybody. I like this comment right here. Enrique always makes me laugh. Selling your crypto is not like putting a child up for adoption, but sometimes it feels like it. Yes, it does. I actually, have explored the idea of, when I need to take profits, taking some loans against. I haven't really got into that too much because I rarely, pull stuff off the table. But it is what the wealthy do, and it's something that I think should be definitely explored as we continue to grow these portfolios, because I don't want to sell. I do believe that we've got a long, long way to go in these markets. So, all right, let's talk about Bitcoin. Good.
My son's in the chat there, ZTS Rhythm. He said, "Where's my money?" I'm building generational wealth.
Where
Just
my
be
money
patient.
I didn't
I'm
realize
building
that was your son.
generational wealth over here. Yeah, that's my son. He's working on my short from the show this morning. Right now, he's sitting right here in the studio with me. So
Dave Digital
that's
said,
what you need. You need a son to make shorts for you.
to make shorts. Well, my daughter's a little bit too young for that, so we'll get her there though. Dave Digital said, "I'm going to need $1 million, or I'm showing this to your families." We're in trouble, Army. No, we're not. That's okay.
Nah,
we love you, Dave. We
I'm
appreciate you for being here. All right, let me pull up a little Bitcoin TA here for you. Let's see if we're coming up with some similarities here. All right, as always, you guys know I like to pull volume profiles. I pulled a volume profile from the last week, and we're coming up with a value area low of about 60,553, and I'm going to get into why these numbers matter here in a second. We have the point of control at about 60,886. We are at 61.4 right now, with that value area high being about 63.2. Okay, now we zoom in a little bit, right? We have got the daily, well, from the past day, areas are that 63.3 area, the point of control at about 62.8, and the value area low at 62.2. Well, guess what? We absolutely plummeted through that. So I was thinking, okay, I got to figure out where some important key places are to watch this if I'm going to trade it. So first thing I did, I put a couple trend lines together where I was seeing a lot of touches, and I think we have a nice little channel that we're working in here. But as I zoom in a little bit, get out my handy little brush here. Now, Army, you tell me whether this counts or not. I see a head and shoulders, and you have to tell me if I'm wrong here, right? The way that we do this is measure from the top of the head to the neckline. If we take this over and pull this down from effectively where we're at and zoom out a little bit, look where we end up. We end up just below 60K, which is that number that I keep talking about. I think 60K is really important to hold. Now, I'm hoping that we don't experience that, but this we are creeping on. If we blast down through this channel that I've created here, we are creeping on that point of control over the last week with this, which is 60,850. I think we really need to hold that 60 to 61 number if we're not going to be looking for some lower price action. Army, how are you feeling? What do you think? I've been working on my TA here. You don't have to scratch my back. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me the numbers are terrible. Tell me I suck. Tell me something.
No, I think you have some validity there on your chart, but that the head and shoulders is a little dirty. It's a little sloppy.
It's a little sloppy.
It's a little
my
sloppy.
drawing's never been good.
But I'm actually calling for a $52,000 to $50,000 Bitcoin. Have been for about a month.
Okay.
Long before we ever when we got rejected in the platinum pocket, and I got it on my chart. If you want to pull it up, I'll show you what I'm watching here.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, so looking here on the platinum, I'll go ahead and push this over. There we go. This is the platinum pocket up here, the 887 to the 786, and we got this rejection up here. If you put it on the daily, you'll see it reach nice and clean there. Almost a perfect rejection off the 887 there. And then let me grab my brush tool right there. When we came down and we retested right here on that 786 for a rejection, we came down. We hit the dynamic reactor, which is really bullish. When you hit this dynamic reactor, it's an algorithmic moving average, proprietary for ChartPrime's indicators, but we got a perfect bounce on that. So when we got that bounce in the golden pocket, by the way, I did say that we could be holding this level, and that level was 56K. That's where I got my $56,000 call for the first floor of that elevator coming down. But you see my green T box down here, my green rectangle box. This is the range that I think that we're going to be heading to, and that is because of this cluster of volume right there on the fixed range volume profile. There's a lot of candlesticks over there, and you can see how they just
how far back is that looking?
Of resistance. This is back in like February, mid-February time period.
Okay.
So not too far back.
Let me ask you something real quick on that. Is there any reason that you pull specifically, like that you went to that to that area, back to mid-February or whatever? I want people to understand why we do that.
Last area of accumulation. That is the previous area of accumulation, and that was where we had a move up into it. So this right here was one period, and then we went into accumulation phase again, and then we started into it. It's part of that, that Wyckoff distribution process, we ended an accumulation period and then rocketed up there. So, but
Yeah.
you can see here, I do have that fixed range volume profile running right now. And this has been the value area low that we've been holding. And
Yeah.
if you look on the 4 hour, I'm back on the 4 hour right now. I called on Friday that we were likely going to get rejected here because we were getting a lot of resistance on the 4 hour dynamic reactor right here. And so Friday, right after the show, we fell. And then when we were hitting it this morning and over the weekend, I said, watch, we're going to get another one. And right there it goes again, down to the downside, or Monday morning, yesterday morning, I should say. The Monday morning stream, I said, we're likely looking at it again because we can't get above this dynamic reactor. So, which is also, by the way, coinciding with the point of control on the fixed range volume profile. And that's just our range right there. We're in this little tiny range in between the value area low, point of control, and that very, very strong dynamic reactor giving us that top side there that we keep pulling back from. But I am watching again for us to come all the way down to 52K.
Okay. Is that a short term call? Is that a medium term? Like just if you were to put a time frame on it.
If you look at historically the post halving action, it's an accumulation period with some crazy pullbacks, like 20% pullbacks, and then back up. So it's really based on that 20 to 30% pullback. Also, if you take that from the top, you don't. Yeah, well, you can bring it back if you bring it back like you left something. So we go in here and we get up there at the top of that, and bring that down to that line. That's about a 29.5% pullback. It's 30% pullback. So. It does happen. So yeah, I'm looking at that 52. I'll be picking up a lot of altcoins when Bitcoin gets down to that range. So yep.
Yeah. What would you say right off the bat? Whoops, didn't mean to do that. What would you say? Just kind of your thought process is a 52K. Let me do some quick thinking here. ETH has held up really well this last bear market versus Bitcoin. It really did hold well. A 52K Bitcoin right now will put people in a very bearish sentiment, no doubt, right? That's going to be scary for people. That 50K number is going to be like, oh my gosh, it's over, whatever. What do you think we have, a $2,400 Ethereum at 52K?
Honestly, Ethereum is going to probably pull back to like in that 25 range if Bitcoin does a 52K.
Yeah, so 25. I said 24. So around there.
Yeah,
I mean, ish.
Yeah, in that ballpark. For sure. Which is still good when you look at, guys, Ethereum set at 1900 for most of the bull market last time. So it was a stable $1,900 stable coin for most of the last cycle bull run. So
it was. It had some big breakouts and some big moves, but it overall, you're right. It sat around that 1900, 2K, just forever, and people didn't take advantage of it. And now it's been sitting above 3K. Right there would have been a 30%. Actually, you would have been from 2 to 3. It would have been a 33% move up with your money just by dollar cost averaging towards those levels. So I'm interested to see what I talked about this a little bit yesterday on Trading Wars. I'm interested to see if we play the institutions decide to play games with these. My only pushback on the 50K, 52K, or sub 50K, probably really sub 50K. I could see the low 50s happening again. My only pushback and concern is like all of these new people that don't truly understand crypto, that have been told by entities like BlackRock that, hey, this is where, we need to go. I know that for them, it's great because they can accumulate it at a lot lower numbers, right? But does it force people that don't understand crypto into a position where all of a sudden they're scared? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there that I think that.
Yeah, I think that they have to play a delicate game because their job is to keep people interested in investing. So they can't manipulate it too much. And a 30% pullback for traditional investors would be change the underwear time. So
yes, they would be absolutely changing their underwear. That is a great way to put it. Hey, I want to shout out to everybody. First of all, thank you very much for everyone that's here. It is Tuesday. You could be hanging out anywhere, but you're hanging out with me and Army Piper here on Crypto Wars. I appreciate you. Got 5K on the line. I sent out a message this morning. I think we're going to have a sponsor for that's going to be next Friday, I believe, because this Friday I've got a special thing going on with one of my sponsors, VALINITY, with Crypto Zombie. So I'm excited about that. But there's 5K on the line next time I play Flip or Hodl. We're going to do 5x on all super chats that you do today. So whether you do super chats, whether you gift memberships, whatever you want to do, I'll do 5x for you on the wheel. And just to give you a little update, because people always ask, let me look here. The wheel is looking like that's 1, 2. I'm counting the number of people. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's only 8 different people on the wheel right now. Okay, so just throwing that out there. If you guys are looking for some opportunity to possibly get in on some monies,
Yeah, I gave a bunch to somebody last
yeah,
time.
you did. I
don't
put
know
them
who
on
it
there.
was.
I put them on there. That was great. Appreciate
I'll
that.
always give to the will, but I'll never be on the will. I would much rather give it to someone else to win. I do well myself. I'm good. I don't want to take people's money. So
Well, you're a good dude. Check this out. Crypto bubble not looking too pretty. Look at what is this? Why the WLD is this WorldCoin? I think this is WorldCoin. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's world token. Yep.
Down 20%, guys. Everything on here
Garbage.
besides ICP and I don't even know. Is this Safe Moon? I
don't know what that is.
I'm not sure. So don't hold me to that. But everything on here on crypto bubbles getting wrecked. One of the things that I want to point out to people, I like to use the crypto bubbles, and I've had people point this out on Trading Wars. They look at crypto bubbles for opportunities in trading. You can see which ones are heavily volatile right now. Then you can go over and chart that asset and say, okay, do I have an opportunity here? Are there key levels that I need to be looking at? What's the liquidity looking like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so this would be just as a little bit of alpha here. If you didn't know, this is a really good tool to use. It's cryptobubbles.net. And you can you can like pick one of these. Like if I just pick WLD, okay, boom, it'll tell you its rank, market cap, volume. You can dive deeper into it. You can look at the different exchanges it's on, et cetera. So there's some really good stuff over on Crypto Bubbles I like to check out to pay attention to really what's, kind of have a pulse on what's happening in the market right now, which obviously we see.
Yeah, there's another thing that you can do too. That shout out to Alex O Crypto because I saw him in the chat. Oh, look there, Enrique Suave, DCA Seeker just joined. That's cool.
Yes, sir, yeah. Enrique. I
yes,
will
sir.
put you on, good sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm putting you on right now, Enrique. That is your name on the wheel a bunch of times. All right. So what were you about to say?
That
Alex O?
This thing that Alex O does, which he showed me, and shout out to him. So if you go into here, pull up the chart.
Yep. I'm pulling right now.
Go into heat map.
Okay.
So you just open
Hold
up.
on. Where was that? Was that from the bubbles? Was that from the bubbles?
No, this is on Trading View. I'm on Trading View.
You're on Trading View. Okay.
So you Trading View. You open a new tab, go to heat maps, and you can click. Oh, I clicked stonks. Go into crypto. Okay. And then you can go up here to performance and go to volatility, and it looks like this. This is a volatility map, and you can see what the volatility is. And you can set it for the daily. Right now, it's on the daily. You can set it for market cap, or you can go to the volume in the 24-hour, and you can see what's really moving. So the brighter it is, the lighter it is. I mean, the more volatility there is in it. So you can really see what's moving at a quick glance, and you can just zoom in and just see, what's going on in here. Like
So when it says, so all of these look like they have a positive on them, it's just saying, hey, there's this amount of volatility. So like WorldCoin says 22.03%.
Yes,
it's just saying, hey, there's 22% of volatility. It's not saying it's up, obviously.
Correct. Yeah. It's so it's telling you can really see what's volatile, and that volatility, you can go back to screen. That volatility is what is really what you're looking for if you're going to catch a trade. So,
okay. Definitely. So crypto.
Shout out to Alex O. Alex O showed me that, and ever since then, I've been like, that's the best volatility freaking screener.
I hadn't seen it either until he showed it. So yeah, shout out to you, Alex. Alex, come back on Monday for the finals, brother. We'd love to have you. Crypto fam, if you haven't smashed the like yet, do that. Turn on the bell notification, even though I'm being told it doesn't even work for Crypto Wars. But hey, turn it on anyway. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll get an alert. And then, like as always, follow myself on X, follow Army on X, follow Army, follow Piper Academy. Make sure you sub over to Piper Academy. They are growing like crazy. There's a reason for that. There's a reason on the show, so make sure to check him out over there. All right, so let's start off with something a little more on the boring side, some people would say, but very, very important. Breaking US PPI data announced. What was the first reaction of Bitcoin and the dollar? Well, let's find out. Bitcoin which started the week at an increase before the US PPI and CPI data dropped above 63K, fell back to 61K levels. While these volatile movements in Bitcoin continue, important economic data is being followed in the crypto market this week. At this point, data on the US Producer Price Index, that's the PPI, was also announced today. The data discloses as follows. CPI announced 0.5%, expected 0.2. Core producers, core PPI, announced 2.4%, expected 2.4%. The monthly PPI expected 0.3%. It was announced at 0.5. And the annual was announced at 2.2, expected 2.2. So the reaction, real quick, and then I'll have Army talk to me about this because he understands this better than I do for sure. The reaction obviously was a negative hit towards Bitcoin, right? Army, talk to me about why this is important. And actually, just because a lot of times people don't ask questions, I'll ask the question. What exactly is this that people are looking at, and why does it hold firm for what happens in the crypto markets?
So just to clarify, the data that's coming out tomorrow, that is the core, that is the CPI. That is going to be your core inflation. And that is the number one thing that the Fed Reserve looks at. Today was the PPI, which is the Producer Price Index. It is how much it costs for manufacturing companies to produce goods. And the fact that we came in higher on all of those tells you that inflation is probably going to be high, because when a company has to pay more money to get the product that they need to produce other goods to sell, they've got to raise the price to sell those goods, which means you're going to pay more later on. However, something that a lot of people may not know, we have a change coming to this CPI that was not included in any other CPI that's coming out tomorrow.
Are they fudging with the numbers? Are they fudging with the numbers somehow?
Oh, they are. They are. Matter of fact, I've got this. I talked about this on Monday morning. Where is it? There it is. So this is over on Reddit. I've been following this for
wait a minute. Am I reading this right? Coffee's up 78%, so we're going to remove it?
Yes, they are removing coffee from the CPI that's coming out tomorrow because coffee has been so parabolic this year. And Brazil, they had big flooding and all kinds of stuff going down there. So the coffee supply is in trouble right now. So prices are just pumping up through the roof like crazy. They're removing coffee. Like, if this number doesn't look good, get rid of it. It's almost like China removing the unemployment rate of the youth. Welcome to America, where we're going to just remove the 78% increase of coffee in 9 months and get it out of CPI. And so, see, this is what I follow. I follow all this little stuff that people. So it is possible, Keeper. It is possible that CPI comes in tomorrow at its projection or below, based on the manipulation. And if that happens, markets are going to pump like crazy tomorrow.
So the problem that okay, great. Markets pump like crazy. That's fantastic. The problem that I have is the just the sheer dishonesty at play here, right? These numbers are all so manipulated. I think people hear us talk about this and they're like, oh, Keeper's just far right, whatever. Okay, fine. Say whatever you like. But the reality is, this is factual information. You have a number that drastically affects percentages and how our economy is supposed to be, served up and shown to you. And when it doesn't work for my narrative, we just change it. And that, unfortunately, I'm not even going to dive into the name, but this administration is very good at this. We're like, that number, we don't really love that, so we'll just take it out. It's absolutely chaotic, man. And I think that they rely on the fact that most people do not dive deep enough to even know that that's at play, right? So they just see, oh, good, great economic information. This is good. This looks good. This is what they projected. This is what it's at, or it's even better than what was projected. Fan-freaking-tastic. But what you didn't know was what they basically shielded you from and just said, nah, we're taking that out. I hate it.
We're going to hide this little piece of info. You don't need to know it.
Small little piece.
It's like, but the same happens with everything. Like, the whole $60 billion to Ukraine a couple months ago, everyone was talking about it.
Yep.
No one really talked about the fact that part of that $60 billion was $40 billion worth of munitions to be remade for the defense contractors. Did I tell you this before?
No. but I heard that
okay.
somewhere else.
Yeah, so we actually $40 billion of that $60 billion went to U.S. defense contractors to make new munitions that were about to expire, and then they gave those munitions $40 billion worth to Ukraine. So, you know, there's all kinds of games that get played. It's a shell game, and at the end of the day, when people go, it's all manipulated. I never ever in the chat every day because I talk about this stuff. They're like, all these numbers are manipulated. They don't matter. They do matter.
They sure matter. That's the whole reason why we care.
Exactly. Acknowledge that they're manipulated, but at the end of the day, it still controls risk on, risk off environments, and that is what we're here for. So, if manipulated or not, I'm still going to look at the data. I'm going to project how markets will respond to said data, and then I will act accordingly when that data comes out. So.
And when people ask questions like, let's say they push back on the idea that there's insider trading going on and that's not happening, or this is not happening, or this is happening, whatever the case may be, let's just use this as a great example. If you were a person that knew on the front end, let's just say a day before this data was going to come out, or before like the information actually came public, right, that coffee was going to be taken off, and you had the foresight to say, you know, you obviously understand economics, you're a part of the game, you see what's happening. What could you do? Well, you could go in there and effectively short or long the market, depending on what you know the outcome is going to be. And so I don't care if it is manipulated, it for sure is manipulated, but it for sure does matter. I hate when people say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just fake. Well, listen, we're all looking at the same fake numbers and the markets react off those same fake numbers. So damn it, you better pay attention to it for sure.
Exactly. You just be like Senator McAllen, I think his name is, that you know, he put money into Meta, like 150,000 into Meta. Yeah. And then over like a 3-week period, and then like 2 weeks after that, wrote the TikTok ban bill. No joke. And then when it got shut down in Senate the first round, and then they were going to slide it into the national security bill, he then put another $700,000 into Meta before it went to a must pass bill. So yeah, you know, hey, insider trading much? It's criminal. Who knows? Love politicians.
Yeah, no doubt. It's all happening, but it does matter. So for those of you, you know, that just think that it's just a talking point, it's not. It's much more than a talking point. It affects on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis what happens with our markets. And these markets, whether they're directly crypto related or not, trickle down into the crypto space, which is what that's why people look at when we talk about the stock market. Like, we're about to talk about some stocks here in just a second. This stuff, some stonks. This stuff matters, right? The reality is, okay, you look at Bitcoin in the crypto markets, and if you're just looking at crypto, where's the first place you should look? Bitcoin, right? Now, if you're gonna look at the crypto markets, you should. I'm not financial advice, but I'm just telling you, historically, you damn well better sure pay attention to what's happening in the stock market. And there's going to be things that happen with the Dixie. There's going to be things that happen in our economy totally outside of crypto that 100% affect the crypto market. So if you want to get ahead in the space, if you want to do well, as it were, with your investment thesis and do things the way that are, you know, going to benefit you the most, you've got to bring in that information, and you've got to pay attention to more than just the microscope that is the crypto space, which is why we're about to talk
before you get into those stonks. Let me show you a little interesting thing that happened this morning, because we had that data come out, and the Dixie went down. Guys, markets are going down today. Crypto stocks, they're all pulling back today. With the exception of a couple of MicroStrategy's up 1.4%. GME has had a massive pullback of almost 50% since this morning. But the Dixie's going down. So normally when you have PPI, CPI data that comes out that makes people go risk off, the dollar goes up. Stocks, investments go down. The Dixie's coming down today too. Where's the money going? It's going into gold, which means long-term. Short-term, you can go back to 2 screens again, but the camera scene. Normally what you see, and this is something for people to pay attention to here, normally when you see bad economic data come out, people will flush over to the dollar until everything settles down and then go back on risk on. Right. People don't buy gold for short-term. No. And the Dixie pulled back on today's data, and gold is what went up while everything else, to include the Dixie, pulled back.
Yep.
This tells me that there is a long-term sentiment from big money, institutional money, right now that we have more turmoil coming on the economic side down the road,
Yeah.
because of the data that's coming out. And we just seen recently, world central banks have accumulated the biggest amount of gold in the past year in history.
Yeah.
So they're grabbing up gold right now. So I don't think that we're still going to see some higher highs, on stocks, at least on
Yeah.
markets like the Dow Jones, the S&P. But as of right now, a lot of long-term money is sitting in
Yeah.
gold. So,
Well, I mean, you'd be almost crazy not to have some exposure to it in some way, shape, or form with what the BRICS nations are doing, right? The whether you want to admit it or not, we have a group of massive players on the scene that are looking to back and are backing their funds, their monies with gold and other assets, and other commodities, but gold being a big one. And
you do know you can take all of the BRICS economies and combine them together, and they're still smaller than the U.S., right?
than the U.S. Yes, I get it, but I do think that
they're not massive. They're babies. They're
I think
babies that want to grow up to be the U.S.
No, hold on a second. That can't be good information because is China not one of those? Their economy is freaking huge.
Their economy's in turmoil, dude.
I know, but I'm
They're
just saying
getting
they have a huge impact, I'm saying, on worldwide markets, right? So if they're flooding away into an asset, a commodity like gold, I think that what I'm more saying is you should be paying attention to that. I think that that's an important thing to do. I can tell you that's great.
The more that I dug into it, the more I realized how garbage China was.
How garbage China is. Are you going to show me something?
Yeah. Right, yeah, I am. Pull it up.
Okay, cool.
This is GDP. China is 10,000. This is in billions. 10,000 below the United States. Yeah, like
that's $10 trillion.
$10 trillion, 28 trillion. If you combine China, India, Brazil, and I don't remember the other one's not even on here. Russia. But yeah, all of them combined are smaller than us.
They're smaller than the US.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The more that I dug into that, the more I realized that BRICS is a good talking point. It is not a real threat to the U.S. You got to remember.
I'd like to hear more on
those countries. Those countries don't give the world food sources in third world nations. We are the feeder of the world, poor. So
yeah, we're definitely that. I mean, we're really good.
You never hear about China moving, megatons of grain into Africa.
No, you're right. We are really good at giving away our tax dollars to overseas. Yeah, for sure. We're definitely that. Crypto fam, if you haven't smashed the like already, make sure to do that. Make sure you're following Army Piper. The reason the show flows so well when we got Army on here is Army himself. So make sure that you follow him. There's a reason that Piper Academy is continuing to excel and exceed. And there you go. You're good. You are good at talking, but guess what? The talking points are valid. They are on point. Okay.
I just love that my alumni come in here every time. So shout out to all them.
Yeah.
Love the alumni.
It's obvious. I love it. I love when they come over here, have some fun. And again, everybody here, listen, Thursday, reminder, Trading Wars. You've got TradeFly going head-to-head against Drew Wolfert. That is going to be great. One of those two is going to be in the final for next Monday. The next Monday will be OC Guy, Bullish Trader, who, by the way, Bullish Trader's already won once. Crypto Faces won twice. Bullish Trader's won once. This is season 4. So Bullish could take home a second one. However, if TradeFly is able to win on Thursday, 2 of the 3 for the finals on Trading Wars are going to be part of the Piper Academy. So if you're not paying attention, pay attention. There's info to be to get from that. So all right, so let's talk about stonks. Let's do it. If you didn't see
this is exciting.
If you didn't see the news, right? Let me back up. When was the was it 2021, 2020, 2021, right? So if we look back to COVID, there's a thing, a platform called Robinhood. Okay. Robinhood is absolutely the platform that made investing cool. I've talked about this before. I talk about it, off and on whenever this comes up. But the reality is Robinhood basically kind of gamified via their app investing, right? If you look before 2020, man, investing was just kind of, some things some people were doing it. Now you can go just about anywhere and talk to somebody about your investment portfolio, and whether they truly have a pulse on the market or understand what's going on or not, they'll have a conversation with you about it. And a big part of that was Robinhood. So part of that huge move was the squeeze. And if you haven't seen the movie, I will tell you it's really good. It's called Dumb Money, and it talks about what happened in GameStop and AMC. Mainly GameStop is what it focuses on. But there was a massive, massive short squeeze, unlike anything maybe we've ever seen before in GameStop and AMC. And one of the big players in this was, what's his name? Roaring Kitty, I think is the name.
Roaring Kitty. Yeah.
Roaring Kitty. So I'm going to pull this article real quick, and then we're going to dive into this a little bit further. So let me pull this up here. All right. So GameStop and AMC Entertainment shares double amid market frenzy. Cryptic posts by Roaring Kitty prompt flurry of speculation and boost shares in a string of meme stocks, including BlackBerry, which, newsflash, we're going to probably talk about that one too. All right, so shares of GameStop and ANC doubled on Tuesday as the market frenzy surrounding the meme stocks took hold for a second day. Retail traders' interest in GameStop, the struggling video games chain, has been reignited by the reemergence of an influencer known as Roaring Kitty. GameStop soared by as much as 98% during early Wall Street or trading on Wall Street before losing ground in volatile trading after rallying 74% on Monday. AMC, the world's largest cinema chain, climbed by as much as 120%. Okay, let's go a little further into this. The meme stocks, boosted by memes on social media, first emerged as a force 3 years ago, which is what I was just talking about, when amateur traders mobilized on platforms including Reddit to boost shares in GameStop. There was the Wall Street Bets was a big one, right? Their bids triggered an extraordinary but fleeting increase in GameStop's stock market value. It also left hedge funds that had bet against the company nursing heavy losses. Now, I want to remind people, this got so bad and so crazy. When I say bad, we're talking about retail traders having the opportunity and a lot of people winning. And we're talking about winning big money, and this Roaring Kitty was a big part of this. But it got so wild that Robinhood, the snakes that they are, actually shut down your ability as a retail trader to sell out of a position because it was so freaking wildly crazy. And guess what? How did that happen? Well, the big institutions reached out.
They couldn't buy more on the dip.
I swear they had the cells shut down for a short period of time as well, not allowing people to exit their positions because a lot of people were trying to get out and take
they wanted people to sell because people were buying and going against the hedge funds and wrecking them. You couldn't buy anymore, and people wanted to get in harder. So,
but I think, and I'll have to double check this, I might be wrong, but I think at the point that people were trying to take profits, right, when they're basically trying to pull away from and pull it, I think for a short period of time. Round. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, they stopped people from buying, and then they locked everything down. They froze it. So.
Yes. And so these hedge funds reached out and said,
it wasn't frozen for the hedge funds. It was only frozen for people. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. Is these hedge funds reached out and said, "Hey, listen, we are getting our asses handed to us. Oh, by the way, we're the ones that rule the roost here. You're going to abide by what we say." And Robinhood bowed down to it. Now, I want to hear what you think on this, Army. Can we see another extraordinary move out of some meme stocks? And if so, which ones are you looking at? And I do want to post a warning here. We're going to talk about these. This is not trying to tell you to go buy these, okay? This is high risk for one. And for two, we're going to talk about this in a second, but there's a lot to be said about not buying when things are in an absolute full-on frenzy, and there's a really good time to buy. So, Army, talk to me about these meme stocks. Talk to me about what's going on.
So first off, for transparency's sake, because I'm always transparent with my alumni.
You own GameStop. He owns GameStop, the entire thing.
I do. I bought GameStop stock on the weekend after market. In between markets, you can put in an order and buy on Robinhood. Right. Which, by the way, for those that don't know, on Sunday.
No, hold on a second. You bought GameStop on Sunday. 2 days ago.
Yep.
Wasn't this before the tweets went out?
Yes. It was when Reddit was starting to talk about it. It just happened.
Okay.
Cool. So I'm on Reddit on Wall Street Bets. I follow everything so that I can get all this info. I need give me info. I don't know if you guys remember Johnny 5 back in the day, need more data. That's me. So I bought it on Sunday. Monday morning, pumped up, rocketed 100% returns. I took my original investment out, and I am operating still in GameStop on free money right now. So just for transparency purposes, I want to put that out there. But right now, it's getting very expensive. If you go to my screen, I actually have this. This came out from the Kabisi letter like a little while ago. This came out at 11 my time, so less than an hour ago. The cost to borrow. So for those that don't know, when you short a stock, you borrow against that stock. Yep. And so the cost to borrow GameStop stock right now is at 38%. It's more than double since yesterday. So it is getting very expensive for these people that are shorting, these hedge fund managers. It's getting very expensive for them to short right now. So, and I think that they are doing this because they're raising the price this much because they're trying to protect these hedge funds from, like, look, guys, we've seen this volatility before.
We played this game before.
And when retail gets going, you guys don't seem to remember 2021 when you all got wrecked. So yeah, they've made the short borrowing cost right now super expensive, which is actually going to help the retail buyers that are pumping it.
Yeah.
This is getting ready to bounce again. Not financial advice, but I think this is getting ready to bounce again because of these high prices to borrow. It's getting stupid expensive to short right now, which means getting in on that buy side on some of these dips with, money that you're willing to lose or free money like I did, might be a really, really good play coming ahead. Right now, according to what I saw this morning, over $5 billion in losses for hedge fund and institutional money that's shorting GameStop right now. So over $5 billion in 48 hours they've lost. So it's fun. It's fun. This is what I do. I'm retired. I sit at home. I get all this info. I go in and look at my charts and do my morning show and put it out to my people, and then enjoy the fun, enjoy the ride. So
I'm interested to see. So I saw Dave Portnoy. He owns Barstool Sports. He's freaking hilarious. Or did he buy back? I feel like he sold and then bought the company back. I don't know. I don't want to comment on that for sure. But owner of Barstool Sports, or was what I forget what his technical title there is. But he is literally the most unlucky man in investing. Have you ever seen some of the investment stuff that he's done and talked about?
I have not.
Do you know who he is, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Dave Portnoy talks about Bitcoin and how the Winklevoss twins, he has a story where the Winklevoss twins came in to his house and literally sat down and sold him on the idea of Bitcoin, right? I'm not going to get this story exactly correct, but I'll give you the overarching theme here. They sell him on Bitcoin. I don't remember what the price was, but I believe that it was somewhere around 15K. And I think he bought like $1 million. They got him to buy like $1 million, right? This man gets scared out within a couple days because there was a dump in the market, right? And that was right before it absolutely blasted off to freaking infinity, right? So he did that. He also has got his ass handed to him when all this GME and AMC stuff, like he FOMOs into projects and then basically gets scared out of what's happening. So I saw him. He had a video this morning talking about how, like, I can't do it. I'm gonna effing do it. I'm gonna do it. No, okay, I did it, right. And he's buying back into these markets. I'm interested to see whether we get and I guess I'd like to hear what you think. Do you think, though, that we will actually don't you think that these institutions now, because this has happened before, are at least paying enough attention to what retail can do to hedge so that there's not such a massive move again? Because if this goes parabolic again, right, and be careful, everybody, because a lot of people got wrecked. If you haven't watched that movie, make sure to watch it. A lot of people weren't able to exit, weren't able to do what they needed to do. What are your thoughts? I mean,
no, people have short memories, man. The world forgets very quickly. And this day and age, with social media and as quick as data comes across the desk, people forget very quickly. None of these hedge fund managers are, first of all, they're too narcissistic to think that they are that they can't be outsmarted by some dumb money retail investor. And, why not Minnesota? That's first thing. Secondly, they forget. They forget. And that's the problem. So, be an elephant, and be a goldfish. Let things go. Forget about the things that don't matter, and don't forget historical things that do matter. So
talk to me about this, Army. And this is the important piece that I want to give everybody. When these things are going parabolic, do you have the opportunity to jump in and make a crazy amount of money even when it is pumping? The answer is yes, because there was a lot of people that when this last thing happened, they continued to buy at what looked like some crazy numbers and still made a ton of money. So can you do
I
that?
did it on XRP.
Okay, so you've done this before.
The big
right?
XRP run, I pulled in a $14,000 hour.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
So yeah, it's absolutely possible.
So you can do that. It is possible. However, it's incredibly risky. I want to make this clear. You are gambling. Okay. You are gambling. So make sure whatever funds these are, they're money that you're prepared to lose. Right. But Army, there's other opportunities here, and I won't be surprised to see retail go after something else. Right. And there's one of them that you and I talked about before the show briefly that I think we should talk about, because here's the deal. If there's other opportunities in the space that have not yet gone parabolic, but are technically, as they call it, a meme stock, maybe that would be a better opportunity to peek at. I don't know. Tell me the one that you were talking to me about before the show.
That would be BlackBerry.
BlackBerry.
And when I said it this morning, people like, BlackBerry's alive still? Yes, BlackBerry is alive.
That's the whole point.
What's that?
I said that's the whole point. That's what with GameStop, it's basically almost a dead company, right? Nobody goes to the movie theater anymore. AMC. That's why they're calling these meme stocks, because of partially because of that. Okay, so talk to me about BlackBerry.
So BlackBerry took off at the same time when all this started happening with GameStop on Monday. BlackBerry had a beautiful test here on the dynamic reactor, which is a proprietary moving average for ChartPrime. I use it all the time. Let me get this in there. There we go. We had a nice little bounce down here on it. Had fought to hold it as support for several, about a full day and a half here on Wednesday, May 8th. We almost did like a retest here on Friday the 10th. And then all of a sudden here on Monday morning, when all of this started happening with GameStop, we had this big pump up. You see it closed down and then relaunched again. And from that move on Monday morning to the top, it was a 40% move. So it has not moved in the realm of what GameStop and AMC have done. They're like 130, 140%. Right. We did get this pullback, but I do want to point out that we had a CME gap in here. Yep. It closed the gap. And I'm watching for the levels. Yes. And now I'm watching for the levels of support. So to do this, you come over here, we're going to grab a fib retracement. We're going to go back from this test at the bottom, throw it up here. Look where we just hit. We're in the golden pocket. Like, this might be a prime area. This is not financial advice, but if you guys have a little bit of money that you're wanting to play in the Stonks Casino, this would be the play right there in the golden pocket here. So it's looking pretty interesting.
Yeah, I will be interested to see, what kind of a reaction we get. Will Wall Street Bets jump on, a new train on another, because the reality is when this started, it started from the fact that this Roaring Kitty and some other people noticed how heavily shorted GameStop was. And so they basically just pushed to absolutely the opposite direction against that. That's how all of this started. I'd be really interested to see. Are they, and I guarantee you they are, in the background, there are people right now absolutely scouring to find maybe something that is in a similar position that they can shove it or give it to the man, as it were. And I'm rooting for it, right? I love seeing retail be able to win. The people. So listen, if you're not following me on my Telegram group, I've got the link down below the stream. I've got a DGen group there where I'm teaching people how to do some other things in crypto, right? We talk about a little bit of everything, but I just started this not too long ago. But the facts are simple. I want people to win alongside me. That's what the Piper Academy is about. That's what we're about here at Crypto Wars. Like, we want people to win and win together, but it takes education. It takes an understanding and some willingness to put some time into these markets. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care what stock it is. I don't care what crypto asset it is. If there is a beautiful setup and an opportunity, and I have the ability to be able to take a stab at it, I'm gonna take a stab at it. That's just where I'm at personally. That doesn't mean that you should do that. Just saying that's what I would do. So I'm looking to and paying attention to what's happening in these Reddit groups, to what's happening on Wall Street. Like, pay attention, people. It does matter. Same thing as these manipulated markets, right? It matters what retail is ultimately FOMOing into and or talking about relentlessly, because we've seen in the past it does work, right? So at any event, what are you pulling up here, Army? What do you got?
So this is GME token. This is a crypto token on Solana network. It launched on February 1st of this year. So it's so odd that this is happening, because it had this big spike up and then it just went sideways here for a long time. Now, if I bring this in, you'll see on auto, there's a lot of volatility in that little flat line. You can see that there. Bring it out, bam. There's a lot of volatility in here. Like this move here from this bottom up to the top, this was a 338% move.
Yeah.
But I want to show everybody what happened when GameStop stock took off. Here we are. This is Sunday at 1800. This is when that tweet came out when I told you I bought my stock. Okay. I wish I had known about GameStop token. Guys, to its top level, it was a 3,900% move in 48 hours.
That's a 39x, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, and right now I want to show, going back here, you guys can see these rejection points that we've had in the dynamic reactor. It has been played with many times. Let me get this in here and show you. There we go. You can see these rejections in the dynamic reactor throughout its history here. Nice rejection once it broke down through. We on the 4-hour are getting ready to bring it in. It's such a volatile move. It's hard to get in there. We're getting ready to test it as support. So interesting play there. And I do want to throw up here, let me just do a quick fib on here just to see where it's at. That would be right above the 50%. So, I mean, it's not quite down to the golden pocket, but this would be a key level that I'm going to be watching for here. But yeah, this is GameStop crypto, and it's up almost 4,000% in 48 hours. So crazy.
And again, if you guys are interested in getting involved, exactly. If you're interested in getting involved in the crypto casino, that's what we're talking about here. If you're interested in getting into the stock casino, that's what we're talking about here. Again, these are all gambling plays. I want to make that really clear. We talk about a lot of long-term investment thesis type stuff. This is, hey, you want to play around a little bit. You want to feel that, you want to feel some excitement or some pain. Jump into something like this, because you're going to feel one of the two. You're going to feel either a whole lot of pain and be pissed, or you're going to be like, heck yeah, this is fantastic. But again, I'll revert to the start of the show. Take freaking profits. Please, people.
Absolutely.
Take profits. And then the last thing I do want to say and touch on with the meme casino is, and you guys have heard me talk about it a lot, the project I'm involved with, Tonald on Ton. I want to just throw out there, not even just that specifically, the meme coin plays that are surrounding the political space. Pay attention to them. I'm holding a number of them. I've seen where, like Army just showed, the GameStop started in February, right? Just basically had some moves, but basically flatlined for a long time, right? And then bing, what do we have coming up this year? We have an election. What do we have going on right now surrounding Donald Trump? We've got obviously all the court cases, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, the things that are happening in the space matter. You just saw with the GameStop token, which has nothing to do with the actual company of GameStop, how it just went 3,800% overnight because of news on. What do you think is going to happen with a token like Tonald, as an example, when he beats his case, right? Bing! You know what I mean? So just pay attention. These narratives and the stories matter.
Let me know if you can hear this, this video clip.
Sitting at home, getting in the gut.
Okay. So this guy here is talking about the GameStop retail. Listen to what this man says. This is what rich money elitists, the hedge fund people, think about us retail people.
Sitting at home, getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people. And, you know, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together. Sitting at home.
Wow. He said, okay, so basically he said, hey, a bunch of people are sitting home collecting government checks, and it's a bullshit way to push against the wealthy.
Yeah, they're mad. This other guy here, I have another one. I won't play it, but he was talking about this is really bad. He's former SEC guy, and now he works for banks and stuff. Look, here's the bottom line. I showed you guys 38% is the funding rate for borrowing stock for them to short right now. So it's very expensive on top of them having to put the money up. So you think about, let's just keep it to a simple number. We'll do $1 million. They're trying to short with $1 million, which we know they operate in the billions, right? Well, it only takes a million retail degens with $1 each to counter them, and they're doing it for cheaper. Yep. When you get retail moving at a massive front, that's what happens. Yep. That's what happens. And even this morning, I don't know if you saw this morning, but Roaring Kitty did another post, and it fits perfectly. Let me pull it up here. And it's not so much the audio on it; it's a visual. But he did this one earlier. Here it is. Let me bring this up here.
Oh, I saw this on your X.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hear that, but there we go. There you go. This is the little man. This is the little man. The us, right? Going against institutional money. That's what this is right here. They think of you all as garbage, and you are not going to win. However, that's not always how this plays out. There's the hedge funds right there. There's everybody watching the show. Nope.
That's the dip.
Nope.
There's the other dip.
Night, night.
Yeah, I saw that. I loved it. Roaring Kitty, he's rallying the people, man. So there you go. There we are, just making way for Roaring Kitty to come through and take on the hedge managers, leading the way for retail. So, guys, we have power. I say this all the time. Back in the day in the military, no one of us is as powerful as all of us together. So,
that's a fact.
That's what's happening here.
That is a fact.
So.
Crypto fam, I appreciate each and every one of you for being on here. It was a Tuesday. You could have been hanging out anywhere, but you're hanging out with Crypto Wars. I appreciate y'all. Make sure that you follow Army Piper. Go over and check out Piper Academy. Fantastic stream today, Army. I appreciate you, brother. I hope you have a wonderful day. And Crypto fam, question everything. Trust nothing except for your boy CryptoKeeper. And until next time, hodl like it's hot.
Like it's hot.